The one they call the Big Daddy Kane is here as the party animal, sex symbol, soloist, vocalist, microphone miracle, here to react, attack. As a matter of fact, I bring forth a sudden impact. Wanna say knick-knack, paddywhack, give Kane a microphone, and all the other MCs are going.
At the Grand Concourse 149th Street station in the Bronx, graffiti writers gather at what they call the writer's bench.
Offspring, I'm the king of New York, king of the coast. One hand, I juggle them both. I heard the barbershops being great debates all the time about who's the best MC, Kendrick, Jigga, and Nas. Eminem, Andre 3000, the rest of y'all new niggas, just new niggas, don't get involved. I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip-hop and them niggas should know what time it is. And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you niggas. What is competition? I'm trying to raise the bar high. Who's trying to jump and get it? You're a better off trying to skydive.
What's good, what's good, what's good? Live from the writer's bench. I'm your man Kill with Beezo and Vic. What's good, fellas?
Peace.
What up, what up? Salute to our soldier Vic, who's missing in action tonight, you know what I mean? But, you know, we had to have, you know, the quick app just to talk about this whole Kendrick Lamar situation and everything. This dude, you know, got Twitter on fire, got the whole world on fire. You know, the funniest thing about this Kendrick thing, B, yo, this dude is on USA Today, man.
Yeah.
This dude got the front page on Philly.com. Like, this ain't just on some old hip-hop websites. This is like on some old global, you know, front page.
Because of his verse, he's on USA Today?
He's on USA Today because of his verse. If you go to Philly.com right now, on the front page is Kendrick Lamar calls out fellow rappers. Like, this dude is on the front page of national. This ain't just no allhiphop.com and Rap Radar and all that. This dude is everywhere. So unless cats have been, you know, sleeping under a rock or whatever like that, of course, you know, Big Sean had to join out Control featuring J Electronica, my man Kendrick Lamar. Didn't make his album because of sampling clearance. No ID produced it. And on the song, you know, K-Doc proclaims himself being the king of New York. Goes on to call rappers out by names, basically saying, I got love for y'all. But in a nutshell, you know, from now on when we on songs together, it's like I'm coming at niggas. You know, I'm trying to take your core fan base, you know. So thinking about that and just seeing that, yo, cats have been getting at me all day, Kill, what you think. I was like, yo, I got to get my crew together real quick so we could chop it up about it. Ev, what you got on this, man? What you got on this whole Kendrick Lamar situation?
My feeling on the whole K-Dot thing, personally, is I think it's yeah, cool. My thing is, all right, so Cats is mad because he said he's the king of New York. Honestly, I feel like, so what? Like, you know what I mean? So what? He's calling that out. He feels like he done already took over the West Coast. I guess he wants to take over the East Coast. If he's doing it for the satisfaction of having MC step their game up, I salute that, because I think the fact that that's a good thing to do. I don't think that's something he necessarily had to do. I think just the fact that Kendrick Lamar became famous off of writing the way that he did is proof enough to say, like, yo, you know, you can do this and actually still, you know, become popular in the market. But at the same point in time, you know, what's the fun in that? If all of your, you know, all your quote unquote artists that you kind of in the same bracket with, and nobody's really bringing it, you want everybody to step their game up because you want to be entertained yourself, then why not do it? You know, I mean, I honestly, you know, I'll throw this back to Kill, because I know you know, and Beezo, because I know your cats probably know a little bit more about jazz history than what I do. But I'm wondering if jazz cats did that back in the day. You know, I know, you know, Thelonious Monk was a cat who would basically write his music for other jazz artists. Like, yo, this is the product that I did. Look what I did. I don't think he's necessarily coming at their neck, but I mean, this is a different day and time that we live in. So I mean, if he's doing that to get cats to step their game up, so be it. So be it. You know, why not? Why not have that? And like I said, I was saying this before. Like, I like Kendrick Lamar. I think he's a dope MC. I think the cat is really talented. I think he has some interesting things to talk about, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I like him, because I don't feel like it's, you know, he's just up there talking about the clubs and the chicks and the cars and the money and the glam and the glitz and all like that. Like, he actually has some things that I'm interested in hearing. So the fact that he pulled that card, all right, cool. But also, I will say this, and I'm gonna bring this up. I know, you know, last time we got cut off, but the whole thing with how did the recording process go? Like, you know, was he the last man to record? Did they go in line the way that you hear it on the record? You know, because I'll ask myself, all right, what would Jay Electronica do? Like, you know, I mean, you called his name out before his verse even came. So if I was Jay Electronica, and I guess if I heard that verse, I'd have been like, oh, let me go back and get on my A game, because I did what you did, Kill. I listened to it, and when Jay Electronica verse came on, I was like, I didn't even finish it. I was like, I'm not even, you know, I'm kind of bored. Like, I expected you to come a little bit harder, and I know you can. Jay Electronica, I know he can, but I didn't hear it in that verse, but I didn't give it a chance. That's true. I didn't listen to it all the way through, so I'm talking out of turn a little bit, but the intro just wasn't enough. After, you know, Kendrick drops a bomb like that, it just wasn't enough for me. Right. So that's my thing. I feel like it's creditable.
All right, what you say, Beezo?
Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before, man, but I think it's good for hip hop, man. I mean, it's just what hip hop has always been about. Like I said, you know, KRS came into the game. You know, he one of the best MCs in the history of the game. And he came into it, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to call it beef, but, you know, battling, you know, battle rhyming, talking about another MC, another crew. You know, what I said before, too, I think is real, man. I think the uproar that it's caused speaks more to where hip-hop is nowadays, where, you know, for him to make USA Today and all these other newspaper publications because of a verse where he mentions other rappers' names, I mean, my God, that's happened in every generation of hip-hop. This is the first time it's happened in this generation. So, you know, like F said, hopefully, I don't know what his motive was necessarily, if he was doing it to get other rappers to set their game up, or if he's really just doing it to let other rappers know, like, yo, he watching Jay-Z, you know, Jay-Z just nonstop, relentless, trying to win, trying to be the man, trying to be the, you know, HNIC of the whole rap game and all that. You know, perhaps this is Kendrick Lamar's, you know, shot at that, like, look, I'm laying the gauntlet down, I'm let everybody know, all you other rappers, this is what it is, you know, come with it or don't come at all. And I respect that. I mean, the only problem, if you want to call it that I had with it, was like his style. The way he was rhyming is not anything I've heard him do before. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se, but like Ev just said, one of the things I do like about Kendrick, I'm more about his topics, I don't want to call it an image, but for lack of a better term, his image. Because his image is one of just, hey, I'm just a regular dude who raps, and this is my rhymes, boom, boom. And he put some stuff together. It's nice, but before this at least, I didn't necessarily look at him in the class of a Nas, Jay, Big, you know, that dope a lyricist per se. But if he's taking the time out to be like, no, I am that, I'm gonna listen. You know what I mean? Especially if he's giving me cause to listen, and he is. But I do think it's a bit overblown though, man. With, like, to be honest, the whole thing about New York, I don't think he's taking a shot at New York per se, because I mean, he named a whole lot of rappers, and you know, that line, just like he started the rhyme off, was a Biggie, you know, he started off with a Biggie line or whatever. And I think that was just, you know, some old to Biggie type thing. I don't, as a New York person, you know, native New Yorker, I don't look at it like he was dissing New York or even dissing New York rappers. Kind of like Epson, I think he's just letting everybody know, I don't care where you're from. You can be from New York, you can be from down south, Chicago, wherever. I'm letting you know, I'm putting my thing out there, and all y'all cats, I'm gonna name y'all by name, so nobody gets it twisted. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Let's see what you got. And as far as dudes' responses or whatever, I mean, just keep it 100, everybody. Keep it hip hop. You know what I mean? Because again, that's what it is. And I think what we got to have for love is we gotta watch with the media, the mainstream media, how they're portraying this, because they're the ones I think who will, especially those who don't know hip hop beyond, you know, the bad boy. Death Row era, you know what I'm saying? These newbies, whatever you want to call them, they act like they know hip hop back and forth, but that's the indoctrination to the whole game. I want to see the mainstream media try to turn this back into some, coastal, East Coast, West Coast. But the fact that he made a cover of USA Today because of one verse on someone else's song, some dude I wouldn't have heard of or listened to, if Kendrick Lamar didn't call it this hype and him and Electronic wasn't on it, I would have never looked for this song. If it was just this dude, Big Sean, whatever his name is, I would have never thought twice about this song ever. But because Kendrick put this little twist on it, now we all checking for it. My only other objection, if you will, is that he did it in just that manner. Like I said, he did it as a verse on somebody else's track. I would have rather, he did it like LL, keep it 100, do a whole song like LL to the break of dawn where he talked about multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Give me a first verse, a second verse, and a third verse. Like, okay, you laying it down right there. The first verse letting us know, look, I ain't having it for none of y'all cats. But verse 2, give me somebody specific. I see Jay Electronica as my biggest comp. The verse 2 is going to be about Jay Electronica. Third verse is going to be about J. Cole or Pusha T. Give me a whole song. I don't like the fact that it's just one verse off of this dude, Big Sean's album.
Yo, Beezo, hold on for 1 second. Who you was just talking about?
What you mean?
To the break of dawn. Who's that? Who did that?
LL.
Oh, LL. All right.
Yeah, to the break of dawn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When he, when he went out, MC Hammer, Ice-T, and I think it was Mo D or whatever.
Yeah. Nah. That's a shot at Ev because Ev, anytime I say he acted like.
Nah, man. Nah, look. I like LL, but I don't agree with some of Kill's. Kill puts LL over some like.
Well, we're about to talk about this conversation. Let's get.
Nah, you're right. Let's keep. I was just saying, Beezo, that's a great example of how you come at a nigga's neck, like what LL has done throughout his career.
I mean, I can understand some cats not digging LL. I used to be a huge fan back in the, my radio and all that stuff, and I lost interest when he started doing the going back to Cali's and all that crazy mess. Say what you will about LL, but his whole career has been about going at cats. Win or lose, LL has never shied away. He's even got some type of, it's not in no rhymes, but he's got some type of thing going with him and Jay-Z. So that's been LL's MO. Like you said, KRS. I think I told Kill this last week. I saw an interview recently where KRS talked about his legendary battle with Melly Mel, and he was saying how Mel didn't get the love he deserved because he interrupted KRS's show. In the middle of the show, he just jumped on stage with the homeboy or whatever, and KRS stopped the show in the middle of My Philosophy and started going at him. And he's like, but KRS was like, yo, I'm a type of dude, I'm up there battling him, but KRS like, yo, I looked in the audience and I seen this other rapper dude named Poet. Poet wasn't even down with either one of us, but because Poet's in the audience watching me and Melly Mel battle, I'm gonna go at Poetry too, or Poem, whatever his name, Poem, whatever. So I'm gonna go at him too. So I went after Grandmaster Mel's mans, his other mans, and Melly Mel. So it's like, what Kendrick Lamar's doing, like we just said, it's hip hop. It's what it's always been about. The more troubling thing about it to me is the reaction, not just from the so-called fans, but from the mainstream media, man. How are they gonna try to, what type of spin they gonna try to put on this? Like, they're gonna try to turn this into some East Coast, West Coast, or not even that, but just some war, some battle, looking for violence to come from all this between these rappers now. So I just hope that all he do is, like, I don't know if you saw Pusha T's tweet about it, but he was just like, I hear you loud and clear, my nigga. Respect. Like, he letting know, like, all right, I feel you talking about me. Now I'm about to go do a joint and talk about you. And that's dope. But again, so long as everybody keeps it, keeps it on paper and pad and with the music and understand, I mean, this whole writer's bench, this is what the science has always been about, coming together to grieve, air out our grievances and talk about our beefs. You know what I'm saying? So it's high time one of these young rapper dudes put everybody on notice. And like I said before, I think more so than the rappers he put on notice, I think he's putting the fans on notice. Like, y'all need to step up and pay attention to what Cats is talking about and not just take it for granted, and get all into the music and dancing, cutting your ass, whatever. Listen to what Cats is talking about. Because I'm sorry, a lot of these dudes he mentioned, there was only a couple of them that I'm really checking for to hear what they got to say in response to my man, Kendrick. The rest of them, less.
And the funny thing for me is that I don't even really feel like it needs to be diss records back at Kendrick. You know what I mean? Because I think his whole thing is like, yo, just step your game up. Like, yo, you ain't got to even have a song talking about Kendrick Lamar. Like with Joel Ortiz, he got his joint in. Now Fred the Godson got his joint. Where at the end of the day, it's like, yo, y'all ain't even got to come at money like that. Y'all need to just step your game up. So the next time you got a studio session, you need to really sit there and not think about what the radio hook going to be or not what's going to be the hook for the strip club, but you really need to sit there with your pen and your pad, or if you trying to be on your Biggie joint and write your rhymes in your head or whatever, that you really sit down and you put time and effort into your craft. And I mean, I think like you said, Beezo, that's a great point, because I feel like the media is going to run crazy with this. You know, because when I just Googled Kendrick Lamar and USA Today came up, I'm like, yo, I know this dude ain't on USA Today from that little thing. Like from that, you know what I mean? So the crazy thing is I do have a feeling that the media is going to try to portray this as such. And I mean, like you said, you already see rappers saying, you know, they got it already tagged as the Kendrick Lamar diss. You know, here's the diss back to Kendrick Lamar, where Kendrick told y'all, I got love for y'all.
I'm saying he didn't even diss these cats. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, he said, I got love for y'all.
He just said, I'm competition.
But you know what it is, B? This takes it back when, if you remember back in '96 when AI came in the league. And everybody was saying how disrespectful he was because he was like, he didn't want to bow down. He's like, yo, I got all the respect in the world for the legends. But when we get on that court, dog, I don't care nothing about who you are. I don't care if I had your poster on my wall growing up. This is about competition. Like, I'm not going to just lay down and back down. And I think, you know, you saw all the heat that AI took for that because cats wasn't used to that.
You know what's funny, Kill? What you just said, the analogy about AI. It's funny to use another basketball analogy was when Kobe was starting to make his name. You know, his first couple years in the league, you know, he was a little young. He didn't average many points. But when he first made his name, that first All-Star game appearance, when he played, he had Jordan out on the wing, one-on-one. And Karl Malone was coming over to set a pick. And Kobe was still like 19, 20. Kobe waved him off like, nah, get out of here, get out of here. And I remember Karl Malone in an interview afterwards, you know, he kind of tried to like sun Kobe a little bit, like, young fella, gotta learn them, this and that, boom, boom. But Kobe was like, look, I'm out here, I'm playing on the stage with the greatest ball players in the world at one time, and here I got the greatest of all time, the cat I emulated. What, I'm supposed to back down and ask for help? Nah, I'm trying to let him know and let the rest of the league know I'm here and I'm ready to take the next step. I'm ready to take the gauntlet from this, you know, the trophy from this cat as being the next great, you know, great ball player, whatever, being the next Kobe, being the next Mike or whatever. And I think this is kind of the same thing. Like you said, it wasn't like AI or even Kobe with dissing Jordan or the greats. It was more about letting everybody else know, like, look, I'm here. I'm letting y'all know this is what it is. Either you're going to step up or you're going to fall to the side. And like you said, yo, nowhere in that song, in that verse, does Kendrick diss any of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? All he says is like, matter of fact, if I'm one of those dudes, I'm respecting the fact that he had the nerve to mention me. Because if he doesn't mention you, and he's talking about all these supposed to be dope MCs, and your name doesn't get mentioned, that is more of a diss than him mentioning your name. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm one of those rappers.
Yeah, so
another thing too is just to go back for a second on the media influence, because I think that's an important part. That if you look back to of course I'm gonna go back to the whole Biggie Tupac thing, and a lot of times we want to talk about that story, and a lot of times cats want to look at Suge, they want to look at Puff, but we're not paying enough attention to the media's role and the influence that they played during that whole process, even before either one of them cats was dead. And I think, you know, in my mind, the media actually, you know, had a big role to play in that, but they're never going to admit to it. So I think, you know, we should really be conscious of the fact that, okay, Kendrick comes out with one verse, 16 bars on Big Sean's, to tell you the truth, I don't really know no Big Sean like that. So on Big Sean's record, and all of a sudden you on USA Today, like, come on. I mean, to me, that's obvious of the role that they're attempting to play, and what they, you know, the little games that they're trying to do to kind of, you know, influence people's mind state on what they should be thinking themselves, you know. So to turn it into like an East Coast, West Coast, or to turn it into beef, period. Like, you know, media loves that, especially when it comes to black people, especially when it comes to hip hop. So I think, you know, we just really be conscious of that and not let them do what they did back then. And now then there's a whole new set of beef going on because of what was on a magazine that none of us reads anyway. So that's where was all this
when Tupac did hit him up. Talking about Mobb Deep, Nas, all these cats. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know the thing is,
there was all this information back then.
But you know, back then, you know, we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have Facebook. You know,
yeah, but still to be up on the USA Today, I mean,
yeah, I know.
Trying to make it seem like, oh, wow, this is, you know, like they up with the times. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I think, and then Big Crit said something. Big Crit was like, you know, Kendrick Lamar knows that he shouldn't be taken lightly. Talking about Big Crit, and I think a lot of MCs are responding like the way y'all are saying. Like Meek Mills is like, yo, I don't think, even Meek was like, yo, I don't think he meant nothing personal. Like, I know dude personally. Like, he just telling everybody to step their game up. You know,
he done songs with half of them cats.
Right. So I mean, I think that's the thing that, and again, I don't know how you can mess up the lyrics where he's saying, I got love for y'all. Mm-hmm. You know, he's letting you know. But when it comes time for us getting on the court together, like if it's my squad against your squad, I'm coming at your neck. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You know? But, you know, I think the funniest thing to me over the whole joint is, you know, Joe Budden, I don't need no jokes from y'all two right now. Joe Budden.
Did you get that? Hey, Beezo, did you get your
still waiting.
Playlist?
Still waiting on it. I'm starting to think it don't exist, man.
Yo, I'm sending it tonight. As soon as I'm sending my best to Joe Budden. Yo, so Joe Budden is on Twitter like, you know, K-Dot, you my dude or whatever, you know, but you gonna learn. Like the day you gonna learn. And then I don't even know if y'all seen this, him and Styles P started beefing.
They gonna learn about what?
I guess he was gonna write a rhyme. Like Joe was gonna respond to
But did he mention Joe Budden's in that song?
Nah.
See, okay, so hold up. So now we gotta talk about Joe Budden's then. Because this is what I'm talking about that dude, man.
What?
This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's like, yo, that's like, yo, me and you got a beef. We arguing about something. Not even a beef. Me and you just arguing about something. Ev not even in a part of the conversation. He in a whole other room. He comes in at the last 5 seconds of our conversation and starts, yeah, B, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, dude, who was you to come in all of a sudden and start chiming in on it? Nobody want to hear what Joe Budden's got to say.
Yo,
you, dude. Come on,
I think the problem, the issue was that a lot of rappers, and you got to understand, a lot of New York rappers, and I know Joe is from Jersey.
Not from New York.
A lot of MCs from the East Coast felt some kind of way about K-Dot saying he was the king of New York. So you got Joel Ortiz responding. Joel's name wasn't in the rhyme. Fab, there were so many people whose names, because I think we're talking about two totally different things. You got the king of New York line that a lot of people felt some kind of way about. You know what I mean? And then you had the line where he actually named names. So we're talking about two different
what was this cat saying about the King of New York line? Because I tell you what, I didn't take it like he was dissing New York. I took it like he was using Biggie line as a reference point, a jumping off.
Nah.
Let everybody know.
Cats took it as a diss. Like if you looked at all these tweets, Fab was like, yo, what time the studio open? Other cats is like, yo, who got the keys to the studio? Like all these New York rappers who he didn't name, because again, these are two different lanes. He named the newer MCs that he runs with to say step your game up. So that was the names. The whole King of New York piece, that was New York rappers feeling some kind of way that he's saying that a West Coast dude is saying, I'm the king of New York.
But you know what? If I can chime in on just for a quick second, then if that's the case, he proved his point, because my thing is, you should know what time the studio open. You should know who got the keys. How come you're not in the studio? How come you're not in the studio?
You ain't got a key.
Why say that? Go to the studio.
Good point.
You know.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, yo, see, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, that's just some cats looking for something to talk about, man. Anything, I mean, does anybody really think he's bigger than Jay-Z? No, of course not. He knows he ain't bigger than Jay-Z. And like it or not, Jay-Z runs New York right now in terms of hip-hop. It is what it is. You know, love it or hate it. But that's just the truth of the matter. Fabulous. I mean, hey, man, I love to see Fab throw his hat in the ring or whatever, because I love the way Fab puts words together. I'd be more than happy to listen to what he got to say about it. But I don't, again, I mean, I guess I'm worried about somebody, and not you, Kill, but, you know, somebody in the mainstream media trying to pick that up and turn it into something that it's not. Because I don't think it's a shot, you know, like I'm better than y'all New York cats right now. I think, like I've said before, I think it's just him look, I'm not trying to just be the biggest dude out of Cali. I'm trying to be the best rapper, period, in the game. And I know, for whatever it's worth, that New York is the birthplace of the joint. It's got the most MCs, you know, throughout the history of the game. So to be the best dude, you're gonna have to go through. You know, that's like you want to be the best. You got to go through the best. Whether or not the best rappers in New York now, who knows? That's up for debate. But the bottom line is, I mean, I took it like an innocuous line, and he grabbing off of Biggie, just to further put his thing down on the game. Like, yo, I'm letting everybody know, all y'all fans, whether you Cali, New York, whatever, and all points in between, I'm here. This is what it is. Let's do the damn thing. That's why I love it. I don't take it no kind of way at all. I don't understand rappers using it as an excuse to come back at him.
But see, the thing is I don't know if it's as an excuse. Because tell me this. If you from Mount Vernon and I'm an MC from Philly and I'm like, yeah, I'm the king of Mount Vernon, ain't y'all going to feel some kind of way about that?
Yeah, but now you talk. I mean, that's a little different. You know, Mount Vernon's only 4 square miles. Now it's like. But in any place, if I say I'm the king of Atlanta, I mean, you already see how these dudes do down south. I mean, yeah, like if you said you was the king of New York coming out of Philly, you know, I'd be like, well, nigga, you better run your own town first before you come over here talking that. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just saying, I think that's how MCs are taking it.
But that's what I'm saying, that I understand from a competition level. Sometimes it's like Michael Jordan, you know, was known for taking the tiniest, littlest thing and using that as a reason to, you know, be, you know, pushed and driven to want to take it to you and put that boot in your neck. So if you a real MC and you competitive, then and you from New York, you're going to hear that line and you're going to want to respond to it. I take a perfect example. It's like years ago, arguing with, you know, son of my mother, you know, get a little personal with this, but it's relevant to this. You know, having a little.
Play that personal music right now, though.
It's already been settled. It's already been
Ghost Didi right now. We need Ghost Didi to drop right now. But why you talking about your baby moms?
Nah, but there wasn't so much about her. It was like I left her a message, and I was saying it to her. But in the message I left to her, you know, part of what I said, and our quote was like, and you know, it's a shame you have nobody there in that home who will step to you and let you know to put you in your place. And I was talking about her man, the dude she was living with at the time. And when I came down there, he finally wanted to sit down and have a talk with me. And I told him, like, yeah, I said that, no doubt. But the reason I said it was for this moment right here, because I hoped by me saying that, it'll get you to come out that house and want to have a one-on-one, just me and you. So mission accomplished. Now, you're going to take it how you're going to take it, but understand that's where I was coming from. So if you got any further problem with that, then we'll deal with that. But that's what it is. And my man respected that. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Kendrick saying that line. I don't think, one, he's definitely not taking no shot at Biggie. Anybody, no. I'm not saying you kill, but anybody who would even try to contemplate that he's saying he's bigger than Biggie. But no, he's not saying that. What I take it as is he's letting all these New York rappers know, like a Fabulous and some of these other cats that are like, you know, they're not really a new jack, but they're not up here with the vets like a Jay and Nas, you know, which is where Fabulous kind of falls in between. So I think he's letting them type of dudes know, like, yo, I'm king of New York. To make them, like, all right, I said it, so you come out the house and want to have a one-on-one, my dude. Let's talk about it. And right. I think it was that's kind of thing he's trying to do with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all agree kind of like, yo, this is a great thing for hip-hop, man. It's a great thing for hip-hop as long as the media don't run wild with it. And then at the same token, I do know it's always going to be those, you know, New York dudes kind of like when Dog Pound came and did LA, and Big out on the radio like, yo, y'all need to handle that. You know, and they went up and shot up the trailers. Like, I don't need...
That was different. That was a violation.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm just saying is that I'm sure there is some cruiser dudes who feel like, yo, when Kendrick Lamar come to New York, like, for his next show, yo, you know, we gonna see dude or whatever like that. And again, prayerfully, it doesn't go anywhere like that. I'm just hoping it got people to really step up their game. And almost the same thing like we were saying, almost with the NBA. I feel like one of the huge things that holds back the NBA from being what it used to be is everybody's friends. Everybody's buddy. Everybody got the same agent. You know, I want to go back to those 90 days where the Knicks and the Heat didn't like each other. You know, when we got those Knicks, you know, Pacer wars and things like that. I want hip hop to go back to those days where if you think you the best, yo, stop trying to make songs for the chicks and make songs for the strip clubs and songs for the radio and make songs for hip hop. Show how nice you are. Show your skills. We always talk about how the industry ruins rappers because a lot of these rappers was ill when they, you know, was getting their deals, but then to sell records and everything like that, they had to, change their whole style. So for me, I'm hoping that this just makes it so that dudes step up their game and get it back right. So I salute the boy.
If I can add on to that, I definitely add on to. I hope it doesn't turn into that. I hope we don't allow it to go that way because we already know how the media's going to play. But I hope we don't wind up being sheep in the situation and just following them down this insane line of beef. But I do want to say one thing that in my to me in my perfect world, I'm hoping that this will lead to the hip hop day and age that I came up in, which is the battle, which is the cipher. And during the cipher, it wasn't about the battle. You would just cipher and see who was the hottest. Whoever was hot, you would give them that. And you'd be like, yo, you remember who they was, you remember their name, and you went on about your business. And in another cipher, somebody would know who you were. Like, oh, yeah, I heard about you. Oh, yeah, you the boy mental. Oh, yeah, cool. So, I mean, I just hope that this day and age will bring back that day and age. Because during that time, it wasn't about beef. It wasn't about, yo, I'm just going to come at your neck all hard. It was like, yo, I'm going to show you how dope I am, how truly dope I am, how sick I am in this cipher. And then, you can show me how sick you are. But at the end of the day, you're going to give me that the way I'm going to give you that for respect, and we're going to go our separate ways. So hopefully I'm hoping that, that's the next stage because then I'll bring my pen out. Right now, y'all ain't ready for it.
But you know what, though? I like what Ev just said. It made me think to some. It was like, for all y'all that don't know, like last week or so, Kill said this link with Bink, the producer cat Bink and Mad Skills in the studio working on the joint. And there's something that Bink said in there that I could not have said better myself. I actually have said to my own children on a few occasions. But he was like, right now, we in the turn it up, turned up, whatever you call it, era. You know what I mean? Where, like Kill just said, everybody's so busy partying and making songs for the club and for the strip club and, all that transient type of music that nobody's focusing on honing their craft. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why, like when Jay went at Nas and Prodigy, it was almost necessary because the game was getting a little dull. And whether it was Jay needing to just finally put his thing down and let the world know that I'm staking my claims being the best rapper, which looking back on it, I think was his modus operandi. I think that's what he was trying to do. But I think it was needed. And you saw what it did to them two rappers in terms of Prodigy and Nas. Nas stepped up his game. You know what I mean? Nas like, okay, let me dust off the rhyme book. You know what I mean? And we got him focused. And now it's like, okay, I got somebody to draw all my attention to for like 4 or 5 songs. And boom. And that was the best we'd heard of Nas since Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? And then whereas Prodigy, and then, I got love for P, but P, he fell off. It was like he wasn't ready for the direct combat. He was always caught up in the subliminals, and that was his thing. But now it's like somebody directly talking about him. He couldn't put the same ill wordplay together, like he had been doing when he was talking subliminals dissing Jay. Like, we the streets just watching, boy, move diligent. Little sneaky lines that made Jay have to call him out. And I think what Kendrick is doing, he's not doing it. It's a new way he's doing it. Let's put it that way. It goes kind of against the grain of his image of being, this just a good kid from the tough streets of Compton or whatever, who ain't about talking about, violence and guns and women and drugs. He's just spitting lyrics, and you respected him already. But now all of a sudden it's like, oh, young boy is stepping up and letting the competition know what's good. I'm here. Let's do this. And I think that's dope, man. I really do. But again, not to beat the dead horse, but I think it's worth to keep saying that, yo, we just gotta all be careful. And that goes especially to the peripheral people. The people who next to the man, like Kendrick's people and Fab's people and, whoever. It ain't the artists at the time, it's the mans in them who in their ear planting seeds, or these cats are scheming, when they backstage at the show and got direct contact with some of these individuals. Those are the dudes you gotta be most careful of, because those are the cats that'll stir it up, create a situation, and now the mainstream media is like, oh, look, see what we got here? First it started with this, we had on front page of the USA Today 2 weeks ago. Now look at this. I guarantee you, if there's any show that involves any of them cats that he talked about and Kendrick, and there's a fight in the audience, the media's going to be on it like, oh, a fight broke out at the Kendrick Lamar, a concert featuring J. Cole and Wale. You know what I mean? So it's like, people, fans especially, You gotta be careful and understand this new generation of hip hop. They don't have the experience that we do, that we know about the battle rhymes. That's what it's always been. Like Ev just said, the cipher. You know what I mean? That was like a strong. You had to be nice. It was like Ev said. It wasn't always about attacking one individual. It was just about letting everybody in that cipher know I'm that dope, and you're gonna hear me right now, and you're gonna recognize it. And I think that's what Kendrick did. He stepped up in the middle of that cipher, pointed to every one of these cats, and pointed to the audience. Say, y'all niggas from New York over here, my people over here, all y'all rappers, Wale, J. Cole, I'm letting y'all know I'm in the middle of the cipher now. Who wants it? Now we're gonna see who's gonna step up and who's gonna try to wait till he's back in the, on the edge of the cipher and want to bring beef. Hopefully nobody does that. Hopefully everybody just takes it for what it is and it becomes dope lyrics. And like Kill, like you said, hopefully the best thing comes out of this is a lot of these rappers and fans stepping up their game, and fans then expecting more from their rappers, from these MCs, so they can become MCs instead of just being rappers. That's what a lot of them are nowadays.
True. All right. True. Well, dope show, fellas. Just wanted to get in and get out. It's all about this Kendrick piece. As usual, live from the Writers Bench. Check us out, www.livefromthewritersbench.com, and always subscribe to us at youtube.com/livefromthebench. I'm your man Kill, Beezo and Ev. Salute to my dude Vic. Keep it locked for another episode.